I now notice that everyone says they can see me and hear me. So I'm going to start, and I'm not going to be distracted. Today's topic, Everyday Immortality, Part 22, Infinite Love, from Intimacy and Sexuality to Surrender, Passion, Ecstasy, and Enlightenment. As I've mentioned, this is part of a series, and it's the series on Everyday Immortality, Infinite Love. We continue our journey today with the next few stages of love. Last video was on sexuality and intimacy, which opens the door now to the next expansion of awareness in the direction of enlightenment. And that expansion is surrender, passion, ecstasy, and enlightenment. So here we go. And if you want to actually go through this series sequentially, then please go back to the other videos on infinite love. And even before that, spiritual solutions for existential anxiety, suffering, and the fear of death. And a whole series on the mystery of death, because they're all connected, by the way. So yesterday I spoke about communion. Communion is direct contact of soul or jiva to another soul, jiva. Can be more than one. You can have communion with more than one person, and ultimately the ultimate communion is the divine being, which you are. The divine being communing with the divine being through the mirror of relationship, So I thought, if we discuss sexuality, intimacy, well, we're there. After all, the sexual experiences of intimate love lead to transcendence, which ultimately leads to the creation of a new life form in every biological species, or every biological species that reproduces through sexual experience. But notwithstanding that, there is a deeper experience of love which goes beyond even the transcendence, momentary transcendence that we experience in intimacy and sexuality. So once we have achieved that very intimate sense of communion with self and the other, we are ready for the next stage. And that next stage is total surrender. So what does total surrender mean? Total surrender means an inner switch goes on in awareness, which says, I don't need to manipulate, I don't need to convince, I don't need to cajole, I don't need to seduce, I don't need to control, I don't need to direct another or even myself along conditioned responses, along the responses of the conditioned mind. So at this moment, what happens is there is no resistance in the moment to what is, to yourself and in the other. No resistance, no anticipation, no regrets. Just total surrender to the presence of being within myself and to the presence of being in all others. That's called surrender. When you surrender to the presence of being in an object like the statue or this microphone, when you surrender to the presence of being, the presence of awareness in this microphone or this object, what you experience is beauty. Beauty is seeing yourself as the presence of awareness in an object. And when you surrender to the presence of being in yourself and another person at the same time, that experience is called love. This experience is called beauty. Seeing yourself in another is called love. And actually, they're the same thing. They are an experience of unity consciousness, seeing myself in the other, even in the objects of perception and in other sentient beings. That's called surrender. From surrender emerges passion. Now, when I speak of passion, I'm not speaking right now of the second stage of infatuation or falling madly in love either. True passion is the full awakening of archetypal energies, the divine masculine and the divine feminine within you and the beloved. Once again, true passion is the awakening of archetypal energies, the divine feminine and the divine masculine within you and the beloved. This is a very high stage of existence, of being. The personal self is now being slowly dismantled, the ego identity, for the divine symbolic expression of the infinite self. These divine embodiments, these divine symbols, these divine archetypes are actually states of energy, information, and awareness that allow us to tap into the energies symbolized in the divine archetype. So, of course, you see these divine archetypes right next to me in the form of statues. So this is a Dakini. A Dakini is actually a Hindu and Tibetan and Eastern name for the female energies that we call divine. Now, usually these female energies embody states of awareness like beauty, intuition, nurturing, affection, tenderness, compassion, love, joy, equanimity, and the original divine feminine is known as Simha Vaktra. She is the mother of all the Dakinis, the 21 Taras in Buddhism. Tara is divine goddess, and there are many of them, and they all 21 of them represent qualities of the divine feminine. The original one, Simha Vaktra, is the female skywalker. She's ferocious, and she's lion-faced, and she's the guardian of all other beings who aspire to higher consciousness. She is the female counterpart of Avilokateshvara, who embodies all the qualities of compassion, of all states of awareness available to the Buddha, to the enlightened one. So when there is awakening of the divine feminine within you and the divine feminine in the beloved, you're invoking amazing archetypal energies, the most important of which are basically there to guide you in the direction of compassion, which is in Sanskrit referred to as karuna. Okay, loving kindness, which Sanskrit refers to as metta. Okay, and then equanimity or clarity or spaciousness or formlessness or clear vision of all infinite possibilities. Okay, that's the third quality of the Divine Feminine, and it is in addition to what we call karuna and compassion, referred to as shunyata, the complete silencing of all perceptual activity, where you are in total touch with the Divine Feminine. At the same time, you can evoke in your being the Divine Masculine. Now, I have here a statue of Krishna, who is actually both embodying here the Divine Masculine, but also embodies certain divine qualities of the feminine, a little bit of ambiguity, right? Okay, so both the masculine and the feminine, strength, power, initiative, taking the first step to protect. So protection, initiative, strength, these are the qualities of the masculine. But you can see Krishna is playing a flute. He's an artistic. In fact, he's an artist. In fact, when he plays the flute, even the animals and all other sentient beings rejoice. Krishna has some delicate, divine, feminine qualities. You don't have to explain them. You can see them right here. So when the Divine Feminine and Masculine wakes up in your own being, then you have passion, ultimate passion. Okay, this is a different kind of passion. This is passion for a higher cause, for a higher calling, passion for what we call dharma, for aligning our archetypal energies, the elements and forces within us, with the elements and forces of the universe. And this is great empowerment. It takes us beyond the addictions of the lower centers of awareness, which are referred to as chakras. So the lower centers of awareness only deal with the power, with sensation, with ego identity, with security. But once we've been there, done that, we move now to the higher levels of archetypal passion, which wake up as a result of the awakening of the Divine Feminine and the Masculine within us. Now you can find pictures of icons in spiritual literature and mythical literature of the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminine. In Greek mythology, for example, the Divine Feminine is Demeter, which is mother. Okay. Hera, which is power. Aphrodite, which is sexuality and sensuality and beauty and love. Artemis, a connection to nature, conservation of nature. Athena, the goddess of wisdom and culture and art and music. Hestia, the homemaker. Okay. So, and Persephone, the healer, the alchemist. So look at these themes. These are states of awareness. All of them are states of awareness. Mother, nurturing, Hera, power, authentic power, Artemis, connection with nature, Aphrodite, sexuality, intimacy, love, beauty, And I mentioned the other. Hestia, homemaker, Persephone, healer, alchemist, navigates the unconscious domains of existence. Imagine you had the awakening of the divine feminine in all these forms, including white Tara, green Tara, Avilokateshvara, the masculine counterpart, strength, initiative, discipline, protection. That would be passion for existence, wouldn't it be? So this passion actually evokes another passion, which says, I have fulfilled every desire I wanted to, both human and meta-human, and now I only have one passion: union with the divine beloved. That's ultimate passion. At this level, all love is directed to the true self, not the ego self. The true self in you, the true self in the other. And this true passion comes from the harmonious interaction of the masculine and feminine forces in our own being and in all of existence. So that is the next stage, from surrender to passion. And now we come to ecstasy. Wow, what a great direction this journey is taking us to. Ecstasy, ektasis, means to step out from the theater of space-time and causality, this human melodrama, and experience ecstasy or joy in the direction of total freedom and transcendence. Ektasis, step out. Peak moments. Of course, in sexuality, orgasm is referred to as the peak moment. It's a moment of transcendence. It is the beginning of birth, and it's also the transcendence, to return where we started. Remember T.S. Eliot's poem, "We shall not cease from exploration." And the end of our exploring is to arrive where we started from and know the place for the first time. So we are moving in that direction. Now, as we look at the spiritual experiences of humanity, ecstasy takes three forms. There's physical ecstasy. Physical means every sense delights you. Taste, smell, color, form, shape, texture, sensation. Every sense is delightful. That's called physical ecstasy. The second aspect of ecstasy is called mythical ecstasy. You are now in touch with the gods and goddesses inside your own being and in your beloved. And they have only one desire. They want to be born. That's called mythical ecstasy. And finally, there's something called sacred ecstasy, when you go beyond all of that and you are now directly cradled in the experience of the divine, cradled in the rhythms of the universe, in the harmony of the universe, in the music of the universe. You flow. You are the universe in ecstatic motion. That's called divine ecstasy. And then ultimately, that too falls away. The silent witness falls away, and you rest in pure being, infinite being, radiating love, like light from a bonfire or from the sun. Denied to none, focused on none, given freely to all. This is the love that is holy because you're healed. So as I was thinking about sharing these ideas with you, I remembered that once upon a time, a long time ago, I actually put together bits and pieces of phrases from the Gnostic Gospels, and some of these phrases are attributed to King Solomon, one of the prophets of the Old Testament, who was the son of David. Remember David? Remember Solomon and Sheba? Okay, so here's a few phrases from the prophet. In this case, Solomon. He's speaking, I believe, to the divine self. And this is what he says. You split me and you tore my heart open, and you filled me with love. You poured your spirit into mine. I knew you as I know myself. My eyes are radiant with your light. Ears delight in your music. My nostrils are filled with your fragrance. My face is covered with your dew. You have made me see all things shining with celestial light. You have made me see all things new. You have granted me perfect ease, and I have become like paradise. Paradise, the ultimate state of awareness. I have become like paradise, and so my soul is healed. This, my friends, is the journey from the three types of ecstasy: physical, mythical, spiritual ecstasy, into the divine being. So I would like to conclude today with this, and I hope this made sense. I hope you will share this video with others, get some feedback, give me some feedback, and encourage me to continue sharing insights with you so that we can journey from here to here, the journey without distance. And once again, immense gratitude to you, and thank you. And let us say goodbye today. Aurora, she likes the poem. And Aurora, thanks for helping with all the translations and all your ideas. I thank all of you, actually. These are beautiful ideas, and this sharing that we are doing can create a new pandemic that could heal the world. Thank you once again. See you tomorrow.